What is up, you guys? Today we're back with another banger video. We got the 1UZ non-VVTi right here on the engine stand. We're going to be tearing this down today and getting it ready for boost. And for those of you that don't know, we just recently relaunched the channel and I've decided to lean heavily into 1UZ content. I just feel like a lot of people are skipping right over the 1UZ. They're going for 2JZs, 1JZs, LS swaps, and the 1UZ is just underappreciated still. So my goal now is to bring this 1UZ to the light, show how reliable it is, how affordable it is, and why you should consider one for your next swap. I'm telling you right now, if you've been wanting to learn more about these Toyota 1UZ engines, then you're at the right place. If you're new, make sure you smash that subscribe button because this is about to be a banger. This 1UZ is about to get torn down and ready for boost.
I was raised in the G, I'ma make sure y'all know me, yeah, y'all know me. I can hit the beach to the lake, I live where you couldn't take a damn vacation. Up and down the block, yeah, I'm moving, this peace out, let's get to it, okay? It's the weekend, so you know it's time to play. Me on the road with the bruise and the bud, sun's coming out, ain't no fog in the way. All of my homies right here.
All right, so before we go ahead and get started tearing this engine down, I kind of want to show you the state that my engine is in. This is how I purchased mine off Facebook Marketplace for 500 bucks, and it currently has some things torn off of it already. The water pump's already removed. A lot of the accessories are already removed. Only thing left is the power steering pump, and we have the cam gears up top, but there's no timing belt. You just have this idler pulley down here, and let's see here on the top. Everything's mostly still there. Again, you're missing all the distributors that you're normally going to see on the 1UZ non-VVTi. You do have spark plugs in there still, so we've got to get the valve covers off, and you'll see my harness is chopped in the rear. And so for me, you'll see when it comes to what I'm going to save on the engine, the harness is already chopped, and we're going to be blocking off a lot of stuff like the EGR will be removing, probably idle air control valve might get removed. So a lot of this stuff, like you see, is already chopped here. It's not going to be any use for us, so we're going to be getting rid of it. Might be different for you. Still got to take the throttle body off. We're going to be taking off the intake manifold and basically tearing this thing down all the way down to the bare block, getting the cylinder heads off, and then we'll go from there. So stay tuned. I'm going to start tearing this off, starting with this power steering pump right here. We'll go ahead and get this power steering pump off, and then we'll work from the top and get all this stuff on the top off. And if you're watching this at home and you want to tackle a project like this, you don't need any crazy tools. My tools are a mess right now, so excuse that, but all this is a bunch of Harbor Freight junk. I've been handling projects back to back, so I haven't had a chance to clean anything. But this is all Harbor Freight. Everything you're gonna see me using in this video is all Harbor Freight. Don't get me wrong, I used to have the fancy stuff myself, and I enjoy that stuff as well. But this stuff will get the job done, and you're gonna see right here, I should have everything to take this apart unless there's a special tool that I don't know about, but we should be good to go. I've actually never taken a 1UZ down to the bare block, so this is going to be a new experience for me, but I'm going to show you guys just how easy it is. We're going to go ahead and pop these off. You can see you got a 14 right here, a 14 right there. And there's also some 14s here on the back. So we're going to get the power steering pump off. That way we have all the accessories out of the way. My engine also came with this bucket full of just spare parts. I see a crank pulley. I see some engine mounts. And again, this is from a 92 SC400. So that's what my engine was from. I need LS400 parts. So again, if you got yours from a different, car, if you got yours from an LS400, it might be a little bit different. You might actually have the front sump that's going to be needed for an IS300, but I will go over that in another video. But all right, that's enough talking. Let's get to wrenching. It's over 110 degrees in here. Let's get it. One thing I would say is definitely pick up some of these Ziploc baggies, and you can write exactly what the bolts are for: water pump, power steering pump, intake manifold. Only for the big important stuff will I use these. I don't use them for every little bolt, but for the big stuff, it's nice. When it goes back together, it's super easy. It's like doing Legos. But another thing that I've really liked doing is just rethreading everything back to where it came from.
Excuse me, do you know how to get to town?
Yeah, it's back the way you came.
That way you just automatically know where it's from. I like that method as well. It just depends what you're doing, what stage you're in of the build, but this is another good method as well. You won't lose your stuff. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pop off this throttle body right here. These are 12s. Goofy. Then you've got two 12s here. And then you have one down here. Bolt on the bottom there. One more. All right, that's your throttle body bolts. Okay, so again, I'm gonna save these to the side. These are for the throttle body. Got this holding up in the back. There we go. There's a throttle body. It does have one line connecting to the back. So if you can't disconnect it from down here, you can disconnect it in the rear of the engine over here. That's your throttle body, 4 bolts. You might have a throttle cable connecting right here, and you might have cruise control as well. Cruise control and a throttle. So be aware of that as well. That's what this unit looked like. This was the, again, SC400. Look at that. And supposedly this thing has 76,000 miles. Again, I don't know how true that is, but we're about to find out. Look at that. Inside is black. Set this aside as well, throttle body. All right, so next I'm gonna go ahead and try to remove this upper plenum here. That way we can get access to everything underneath. We'll be able to take the full wiring harness off and really strip this down to the bare bones, where we just have the cylinder heads and the valley wide open. So we got to get the upper and then the lower plenums off, and that's going to be next. Let's get it. For these, you're just attacking these little 12mm bolts. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure if that's just a bracket or if that goes all the way through. And then you have another one right here on the front and another one on the front right here. So they just go all the way around, super easy. Take those off and then you'll see this thing's already starting to look cleaner. Once we delete all these hoses, delete all these unnecessary valves, this EGR valve, get rid of all that extra stuff, you're gonna see just how clean this 1UZ comes. Let's just see. So if you're working on this in the car and you can't figure out why your intake manifold won't come out, it's because you have this fuel line that's connected right underneath the bottom. So you got to disconnect this either here or underneath. I'm going to disconnect right here and this whole puppy will come out. All right, so there's our intake manifold taken off. This one's actually super clean. And this is, I believe, the idle air control valve and then your EGR valve. So I believe we'll be doing a block off plate for both of those. So stay tuned for that. And we're basically just going to delete everything off of this. It's going to look completely different by the time we're done. So yeah. But that's off. And now this is what we're looking at up top. So you've got your lower runners, you've got some harness running through, and we're gonna get all of this out right now. I'm gonna get rid of the harness completely because we are going custom harness. So I'm gonna get that out of the way and then we can get these lower runners out. All right, so both cameras actually overheated during that last session, but we got that harness out nice and clean. We got that out, we got our intake manifold out, and we're gonna go ahead and get the fuel rails and the lower plenum out now. We'll have access to the full valley, and it looks like there's a little bit of rodent's nest in there, so we're gonna be careful of taking that out. But yeah, we're gonna take this all apart. We'll have access to the full valley. And then from there, it's really just the cylinder heads that gotta come out. Super easy. All right, and then just like the upper plenum, this one is also gonna be 12mm, but they're down below. You can actually see them from this angle. Let me show you here. You can see these bolts down here. There's, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, that little one in the back right there. So those are the 12mm bolts for the lower plenum. There's obviously the same exact set on the other side. And that's the exact reason why you have to take off the upper plenum first on the non-VVTi in order to get this out. On the VVTis, you can take the full manifold apart as one piece, which is super nice, especially because you don't have to mess with all the fuel rails. But anyways, we're dealing with this. So we're gonna take those out now. And we're gonna go from there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, start taking apart lower plenum. Look, we got these gaskets right here. Always gotta replace these anytime you take apart the intake. Obviously, we're doing a full rebuild, so that goes without saying. You got your intake manifold gaskets in between right here. Toss those. We got a little trash pile. I'll show you guys at the end. Everything. If you're gonna be doing projects like this is a really good tool to have. It's just a telescoping magnet, especially for bolts like this, because you could just do that way easier than trying to fetch it out by hand. And bam, look at how easy that is. Way cleaner, way quicker. Definitely recommend these. Again, Harbor Freight. I actually have 2 of them. I have a smaller one. Sometimes you need a smaller one, fit into a smaller space. I got this one too. It's covered in metal shavings. But yeah, make sure you guys pick one of those up for sure. So you're gonna have to disconnect this fuel line right here in order to take this manifold off. Ask me how I know. Then, other than that, I think we're good. Sometimes you just forget stuff. I don't know if I am forgetting anything. I'm gonna take off this front water neck. Nah, hold on, let's see. Oh, there's dirty old fuel in there. It's kind of gross, actually. All right, removing the fuel rails first would be easier. There's your fuel rail. There. Fuel rails come off all as one piece. Dripping fuel, so be careful. Uh-oh. We got a spill. Holy 1992. Look at these gaskets and oil leaks. This is disgusting. But I'm gonna clean it up and it's gonna look amazing when I'm done. So this is actually exciting. In all seriousness, this really isn't what I was hoping for, but it'll be easy to clean up. And once I clean it up, I can already tell that this block and these cylinder heads are gonna look super clean. But to be honest, when it comes to an engine, especially one this old, the outside isn't what matters. It's what matters once we pop off these covers and once we take these cylinder heads off and get to look at the actual pistons and cylinder walls. But for now, I gotta go grab the vacuum because this is absolutely disgusting. All right, we got a lot of that little junk out. The next step is gonna be getting this front and rear water neck off. That's this right here, which you have some 12s down here, 1 and 2. And then there's one more under there. And there's another one in the front right there. You can see it. And then we're gonna take off the rear one as well. Super easy, 12s, super easy to access on this one. We're gonna pop that off, get that out of the way. And then we'll go from there. No. Here's your rear water neck. 4 bolts. Super easy. 4 nuts, sorry. This does not want to throw it back in here. Yeah, that thing is, I think it's cooked. So once you loosen this cover, there's this little cover right here. You can access the bolts right through the cam, right here, through the cam gear. You just turn the cam. Now you can access this. Bam, just like that. Go ahead and throw those back in, just so we don't lose those for now. All right, we got those off. Look at this solid water neck. We're gonna take this off next. More 12s. Throw those back in. I dropped one. I'm telling you, those magnets come in handy like crazy, especially if you drop something inside the engine. Just throw those back in. Kind of a random bolt, so we'll just leave it there. All right, starter can come out. Undo these. All right, like that's broken. That's bolted to the starter. All right, those are from the back. I don't know what I just broke, but I broke something. It didn't come out very pretty. It's okay. I think I just broke a bracket. All right, but everything else in here, those, thread into the starter. All right. So we've got intake manifolds off, fuel rails are off, all the accessories are out. Really now we got to take off the valve covers. That way we can see what's inside and then we can get these cylinder heads off. Very simple once you start taking it apart. Really all you need 14, 12, and some 10s. This is really mostly what you need to do this. 14, 12, some 10s, maybe flathead screwdriver, maybe some needle nose. These are good to have, needle nose. The magnet that I mentioned, okay. What else? Hammer, always good to have a nice little mini sledge just like that. So yeah, a different style of pliers because not every style is always gonna work for every application. And this is really like all you really need. And maybe a set of basic combo wrenches just like this. That way you can get pretty much all the bolts. And I would get something with 8 through 19. Again, most of the bolts for Toyota are 10, 12, 14, 17, 19, like for the most part. So if you have all of those, you'll be able to do most of these jobs. So yes, sir. Look at that gasket, that's crazy. This guy said this had 76,000 miles. I'm starting to believe that less and less and less the farther we get in here. Thing's ugly. All right, we're getting to the fun stuff here. We got everything out. The valley's fully exposed, as you can see. No more starter, no more intake manifold, no more fuel rails, no more harness. So this is what you're left with once you get all of that stuff off. And from here, we're gonna start attacking valve covers. So all you have to do to pop the valve cover off is these little bolts down here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 8, and these are 10 millimeters. So 10 millimeter, we'll pop off both of these valve covers, and then we'll show you what those camshaft looks like. All right, so if your valve cover is completely stuck on like this, you see this thing right here? I think if we give this a couple light taps, this might be our best spot to go ahead and just tap, not the valve cover, but the fitting. And then look at this. It's done. Ooh, this thing is clean as hell. Huh, got writing inside of here. 30, 448, 9. Someone's been in here though, that's for sure. Dang, look how clean the inside of the valve cover even looks. That is very promising. Oh my goodness, that's nice to see. All right. And that's one valve cover out. And we're gonna go ahead and do the other side. We're missing a bolt. And I put PB Blaster on every single bolt I knew I could get to earlier. That's why you might see me not struggling with these. Pre-oiled every bolt that I could. All right, luckily all the valve cover bolts are exactly the same. They're not specific to any specific hole, so look at this, it's an old hose end. All right, this one doesn't have that same ability to hit it. Bruh, this oil thing just ripped off. I just hit myself in the face. There it goes. That should just come right off. Oh yes. This one is a little bit more buildup. You can see why I was so excited about the other one, but this one has a little bit of buildup, but still pretty clean. And look at that. These are all marked, which is weird. Like, interesting. It's giving junkyard engine. Like, why did it have red paint on the front of the cam caps? Or the cam covers, I should say. That's what I want to know. All right. A little grind right here on the camshaft. Is that normal? Not sure. There's grind marks on the cams. The sussy engine. I don't know, we're gonna dig a little deeper and then we'll go ahead and figure out what's going on with this bad boy. All right, we are in the internals of the engine and this is the beautiful 1UZ non-VVTi cylinder head. You can see there is no variable valve timing. You just have the single intake cam and that connects directly to the exhaust cam with that gear right there. So before you start loosening the cams, you're gonna wanna make sure that you put a wrench on here and you loosen this right here. That way you can actually take these gears off and get everything out, because once you take it off the car, it's gonna be a mess. So make sure you do that first and go ahead and start taking these cams out next. The biggest thing when you take the cams out, wanna make sure that you take them out evenly. Don't undo 2 bolts all the way or anything like that. Make sure you crack everything loose evenly and just slowly, evenly take everything out together. Like I said, make sure you get this bolt first, okay? And then undo all the camshaft cap bolts, and then that's gonna all come out. All right, so this is exactly what I was talking about. You have your crescent wrench on here. I hope you have one. Bam. All right, there you go. So now you're good to start taking off your cam cap bolts, which are gonna be the ones on the top right here. And that way this is able to actually come off, which you can see, it's already ready to come off. Boom, you see that? But we'll leave that like that for now. Just go ahead and leave that finger tight. And now we can take out our camshafts. All right, so we're gonna start taking out these cam caps here. And you wanna make sure you keep everything in the same exact order that it came out. All right, if it's not one camera, it's the other overheating. So we're switching back and forth now, I guess. And we're gonna just be taking off the cylinder head, and then we gotta do the other side after. The reason why is because I don't really have room, and I'm gonna just put the camshafts back in the cylinder head so everything stays nice and tidy. So we're using this, what is this? 14 millimeter, 12-point socket. There is an actual Toyota for these, an actual Toyota socket. So if you guys actually wanna get that specific one, I think it's like a 10-point, I don't even know what it's called. Triple square, I think that's what it is. I don't even know. I'm so tired right now. I just wanna get this done. So look, I already broke one loose. This one. Make sure you have a good breaker bar. Look, there's that one. Yeah, not even that bad. Again, always best to loosen in a cross pattern. And I don't have the pin in my thing, so it's moving now. Stay straight, don't be scared. They're tight. You guys see that writing on the cylinder head? A little sussy if you ask me. Don't forget the one on the outside. Look at that. This is all it takes to get the cylinder head off, you guys. I don't know if this cap even needs to really come off. If you're just taking off the cylinder head already. Oh, to get that last bolt? Nope. Nope. All right, is that all of them? Sorry, this thing's rolling all around. Maybe I should have locked the wheels. That'd be a good idea. Now I locked them. But I think we're there. And these are non-reusable, so head bolts, throw them away. Bro, did we not? That one's ugly. We sweating in here. All right, last one. Damn, the Milwaukee's hot. Everything's overheating. Let's go ahead and gather up these bolts because the head's not just gonna come flying off. All right, so we got 1, 2. That one wants to stay. I need a couple more turns on those bad boys. Don't forget the washer. See if we can get this one out. Cap's gotta come off. Little upwards pressure as you loosen. Usually does it. All right, and then we have one behind the cap. We gotta take that off. Give me 1 minute, okay? I'll be right there. Off comes that cap. It has a rear seal. Look how that's built. It's kind of weird. So we'll set that aside. Then this can come out. And last one. And a washer, bro. All right, that's all the bolts. Let's see if it comes off easily. Take this off and then try to go set it down somewhere. Find somewhere solid that you can hold onto it. Like this hook is cherry. Get your hand underneath here. A glove is a good idea. And if you, before you think, oh, you have soft hands.
What would you say to the drivers that can't even do 500 miles a day?
They got soft hands.
No, buddy, it's called, these castings are super sharp on these engines and you can literally slice your hand open and bam, there goes your 1UZ project. So yeah, sure. Maybe I have soft hands. Well, I'm sorry, that's the way God intended it to be because I can't have it any other way. So we got our gloves, highly recommended. I don't have a sledge to, let me see. Grabs the sledge. Like we could do the same method that we did earlier. Right there. And if there's somewhere it's sticking out in the back, like these little ground bolts, make sure they're threaded in first. Boom, I saw the separation. Now I'm gonna re-grab it. And we're just gonna set this down on this. Let's get it. Easy work, baby. Don't tip over, engine. That's all she wrote. This thing looks, I don't know, the coolant, maybe it was exposed to the elements. I don't really know. This thing looks ugly though. Is this factory head gasket? Can't tell. I don't know. Don't know what's going on with this engine. Ooh, cylinders look nice though. All right, here's the first look at the inside of the 1UZ. And as you can see, it obviously has some carbon buildup, but can't tell from this angle maybe, but you can still see the cross hatchings in the cylinder walls. Kind of hard to get on the lighting right now. But yeah, I can still see some cross hatchings. That's a good sign. This head gasket, I don't know, looks a little sus. Looks a little cheap. I don't know that this is factory. It doesn't really look factory to me. I don't know, but not really sure. We're gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing to the other side. And that's pretty much the end of the breakdown and we'll go from there. That way. So really smart thing to do is to get some type of protection when you're doing this. All right, that's that there. And look at this head gasket. So this is your head gasket right here. A lot of times when you have a bad head gasket, it's a lot of times right here that you'll see a damage in between cylinders, and that's where it's leaking across cylinders. See that buildup on there? It doesn't look too bad overall. You gotta really get it cleaned up because it's been sitting for a while. But get this thing real cleaned up. Where's the other head gasket? I didn't take it off. Is that head gasket? I don't think these are factory. The material looks weird. Looks aftermarket. Looks cheap. But I might be wrong. I don't know. Oh, it's so much easier to spin now. Look at that. We gotta get this cleaned up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there's your 1UZ non-VVTi fully torn down. You can see your pistons here, cylinders, and if we flip it over, we can actually remove the pistons, but we're gonna be leaving that as is for now. And we're gonna be focusing on the cylinder heads, getting those refreshed. And most likely we'll just be cleaning everything up here, running some ARP head studs. And honestly, I'll probably make a full video just explaining what our plan is on how we're gonna boost the engine. But this was more of a video showing you guys the teardown, what parts you're gonna encounter. Once you get those intake manifolds off, those fuel rails off, it's pretty straightforward. This engine was really easy to work with. And as you guys could see, you didn't need any special tools. Yeah, guys, other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. We got the 1UZ fully torn down. We're gonna be making a bunch of other videos on the 1UZ, what it takes to get it boosted, get it in the car reliably, and everything else it needs to get the 1UZ in whatever car that you'd like, okay? Because when it comes to an engine swap, pretty much every car is the same. You need mounts, you need your oil pan, you need your headers, you need et cetera, wiring, ECU. So we'll cover all that stuff as well. For those of you that wanna throw a 1UZ in your car, you might be wondering, you know, what's different for my car? Maybe I have a random ass car, right? But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed these videos. Hopefully you guys learned something, pick up a thing or two, or maybe you guys are even able to just reference something for the engine that you needed a video of the engine from the inside or something like that. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys are excited for the build and hopefully you guys enjoyed these videos. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, I am just gonna go ahead and toss all the old harness because I'm gonna make a custom harness. Those connectors are not only replaceable, but they're super old and brittle, so they're basically useless. Old gaskets, all that stuff's not reusable. The cylinder head bolts, I'm gonna keep those just to like weld and stuff like that, just to like practice with. But yeah, other than that, I'll be deleting some stuff off the intake manifold and simplifying those, and maybe I'll do a video just on that, like a short video on how to simplify your intake manifold. But other than that, yeah, everything else that's getting tossed. Accessories, starter's probably still good. I didn't test it yet, but I'm sure it's good. We got power steering pump, and then again, we have all the other accessories in that blue bin. So just wanted to mention that if you're going custom, that old junkyard stuff, just toss it. Just toss it. You can refresh all that stuff. This is the stuff that you care about. You got your thick rods on the other side of here. So yeah, guys, that's all I got for you guys. Make sure you guys smash the subscribe button because we're gonna be making so many videos. And yeah, overall, hope you guys enjoy the channel and hopefully you guys are excited for this 1UZ content.